You will start this lesson by taking the pretest Kahoot. Here's the game pin here, and the link is also on Canvas. So after you have finished answering those 4 questions, you're going to go ahead and come back to the Google Slides, or if you have your real book, you will be turning to page 48. Now, before we start using our Google Slides and starting our activity, I wanted to go over this anchor chart that kind of just summarizes summary. There are 3 basic points when you are trying to write a summary. You need to always include the main idea, okay? A summary is basically a short version of what you've read. So you want to make sure you include the main idea, and you want to only include important ideas, okay? I want you to think about a summary as a trailer. The trailer doesn't give you everything about the movie. It just gives you the main idea and some important ideas that go along with it. So just remember those 2 points. Also, you want to use keywords. You want to use words that are used a lot in the story. And you want to use your own words. You don't want to copy right out of the story, because this is basically your short version of what you've read. You are recalling what you read by writing or telling a summary. Now, when we're looking at a nonfiction text, things that you need to remember are the main idea and the key details. Those are 2 important things you need to remember in your summary when you're writing about a nonfiction text. As far as fiction, there are a few more things you need to include, like the characters, setting, problem, and solution. All right, so this is an anchor chart that you guys can refer back to if you just want a short, quick view of what summary is. All right, now we're going to head to our workbook. If you have the R book, you're going to turn to page 48 and work along with us. If you don't have the R book or the real book, you can just go ahead and work on the Google Slides. Now, this is what you should see on the Google Slides or in your book. So we are going to be summarizing, all right? So when you summarize a text, you briefly describe the most important ideas in your own words. So that goes back to our anchor chart that we just looked at. You want to use your own words and you're restating the main idea, okay? So you're briefly describing the most important idea, including those details. And they have a couple of bullet points here I'm going to read through. Remember, a summary starts by stating the central idea or what the text is mostly about, aka the main idea. Next, it supports the central idea with the most important or relevant details from the text. So, just like you are restating what the text is mostly about, you need to include those details that help support that main idea or that central idea. Okay? Also, it does not include judgments or personal opinions. This is not you trying to persuade someone to read this story. So you're going to leave out your personal opinions. This is just straight facts. And then it finishes with a final thought-provoking detail. Okay? So those are some things that you need to remember when you are writing a summary. And then when you are also reading a summary, you should see all of these points in that summary. So you should see that summary restating the main idea. You should see relevant details. You shouldn't see anyone's judgment or personal opinion if they're giving a summary. And it's also a thought-provoking detail at the end. All right, so the activity that you guys are going to do today, we're going to identify elements of a summary. So it says, read the summary of Street Smarts below. Identify and mark each element of the summary. So they have 3 things that they want you to do. You're going to underline, you're going to check for details, and then you're going to put a star next to that final thought-provoking detail. Now remember, when you have to mark up your text, you are going to look at the toolbar at the top of that Google Slides area if you are using Google Slides. You can use that insert and you're going to hit line or scribble, and that way you can do that activity here. If you're writing in your book, obviously you can underline with a pen or pencil, check, and so on and so forth. All right, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to read through this. This is a summary of Street Smarts, and remember, we read this, we've been reading this story, it seems like for forever, but this is wrapping up Street Smarts, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. After being rescued from the streets, Kez Valdez formed an organization to help protect other homeless kids from the dangers of street life. Kez ran away from his abusive family when he was 4 and lived in a garbage dump. After being badly burned, he was rescued by a social worker who adopted him. Kez decided to help other street kids, so he founded Championing Community Children. This charity has helped more than 10,000 homeless children in the Philippines by teaching them about hygiene and providing clothes and toiletries. Kez won the International Children's Peace Prize in 2012 for his work. So that is a summary of our informational text, Street Smarts. And now we're going to identify the elements that we talked about before. So first, what you need to do is underline the central idea. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to go back through this text and you're going to mark up what you think is the most important idea of this summary. Okay, that is what central idea means. So remember, I'm going to show you really quickly. Remember, you are going to hit insert, or you can select the line here, drop down, and you can either do a line or a scribble, and you're going to mark up the text there. So you're going to look for the central idea or the most important part of the text. All right. After you've done that, you're going to put a check mark next to 4 relevant details that support the central idea. So remember, when we're looking for the central idea, it's usually at the beginning of a text. Also, it's going to state what it's mostly about. So after you have found that sentence that tells what this summary is mostly about, then you're going to use check marks to describe, or the details to help describe it. Okay, so there are 4 relevant details, and then you're going to write a star, and you can do I'm sure you can do a star here. Let's see, shapes. You click shapes here, you can either circle it too as well. I'll accept a circle or one of these cool looking shapes here. All right, but you're going to put a symbol or circle next to the final thought-provoking detail. Now, when we say final thought-provoking detail, we want to assume that it's going to be towards the end. So for this last one, I can infer or assume that it's going to be towards the end because it says final thought-provoking detail. All right, so that is what your task is for this assignment. You're going to underline the central idea or the most important part of this summary. You're going to put a check next to 4 relevant details that support the central idea. So whatever you underline, your details have to describe, tell more, or give evidence to help support that. And then you're going to mark what the final thought-provoking detail is. Okay, so that is going to be your assignment. Again, you guys can go back and look at the anchor chart here just to refresh your memory of what you're looking for. This is going to be a nonfiction text, so we're focusing on the main idea and key details. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. We will be going over this again. We will check this, so do not worry about marking something and you might get it wrong. It's perfectly fine. We will go over this assignment soon. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will see you guys later. Have a good day.